Giants have been woven in the fabric of history. Many suggest their involvement in the creation of the world's wonders, while others have branded them as hideous villains. Humans' interest in giants date back to prehistoric times, with tales, legends, myths, and folklore all implying their existence in the world. There are not only fairy tales about giants, but also nightmares. Legends depict how their abnormal, mighty strength could move mountains, and their sheer dedication could lead nations. In today's video, we will go over some of the legends, fairy tales, folklores, and even scripts from religious texts about giants that held up the heavens and walked the earth. Let's get started. Number 6. Smithsonian Cover Up. Over the years, there have been thousands of stories, myths, and legends of giant skeletons. So the question remains, where is the evidence? Most of the evidence that was initially found when these stories started coming about disappeared instantly. But why? Who's doing it? Newspaper clippings dating all the way back to the late 1800s have instances where locals have discovered massive bones all across America. Upon such discoveries, the people would shortly be visited by members of the Smithsonian, who would take away the bones for examination purposes, but were never seen again. There have been instances where giant skulls and skeletons have been recorded on pictures in late 1800 newspapers. Some pictures even show giant skulls next to human skulls for comparison purposes. Many refute these sightings or discoveries as false, since at the time of such discoveries, it was common to find instances or miracles stated in religious scriptures, such as Nephilim from the Old Testament. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary to believe that many would counterfeit such bones and skeletons, or perhaps confuse it with bones of larger animals or prehistoric creatures. So, have all these sightings been in the USA? Well, not really. You see, we mentioned earlier how giant footprints were found in China and Africa. There have been accounts of unique items that would suggest the existence of giants. In Wales, deep down in the prehistoric mines, explorers found thousands of massive sledgehammers. When weighed, each of those hammers weighed more than 60 pounds, which logically points out to giants, or extra large and strong humans, since normal humans are not capable of wielding such a tool, let alone using it for mining purposes. There have been pictures from the late 1800s of the Ona tribe, who clearly stood larger than the foreign explorer. Skeptics rebuttal the claim of them being giants by stating the harsh climate of Patagonia may have spurred abnormal growth in their residents. However, these accounts of tall humans have been confirmed by many other British explorers who, in their writing, praise the humans' towering heights. We, as humans, are always attracted to the macabre. Anything out of the unusual makes it on the front cover of the daily newspaper. Such incidents come under further scrutiny, with later findings debunking the initial theories. However, we have also witnessed how things or living people have disappeared without any traces, leading to a number of conspiracy theories. Many of us are guided by our fascination for folktales and legends, wanting to believe that there were and are more than just humans walking around the world, perhaps aliens, the lizard people, Bigfoot, and more. What seems to be consistent is that the findings are from different parts of the world, and not just from one country where it might have been fabricated. If there is the possibility of dinosaurs existing in the world, then there is no short of doubt that there might have been human giants roaming the earth in prehistoric times. If you choose to believe or not, whatever the case may be, the stories, legends, and myths will always remain intriguing, exciting, and some even bone-chilling scary. Number 5. Giants of Death Valley. Not all stories of giants mention them towering over 20 feet. Considering the average height in the old age to be 5 foot 5 inches, humans taller than 6 feet were labeled as giants too. In 1931, Bruce Russell, a physician, stumbled across caves and tunnels in Death Valley during his explorations. As he entered the cave with his colleague, Daniel, they were shocked to find out that the small cave became larger and went on for 180 square miles. The story goes somewhat like this. Russell, a retired physician at the time, moves west to discover mining opportunities. Joining forces with Daniel, an archaeologist at the time, starts to send a shaft down a cave. As the soil gave way, Russell slipped and fell into the cave. Dusting himself up with minor bruises, he was shocked to find a series of tunnels that spanned over 180 square miles. As he and his partner follow a tunnel, they come across giant remains or skeletons, reaching 9 feet in size. What's even more interesting is that they didn't come across one skeleton, but 3. Covered in trousers and jackets, the garments were said to be made from the skin of an animal that is not known in today's world, suggesting these remains could be 80,000 years old, possibly more. As the two made their way to the other tunnels, they soon found drawings on the cave walls with artifacts lying around found, making them believe it was a ritual site. What's even more shocking is that the two came across bones of mammals that were later said to be mammoths and saber-toothed tigers. The two hurried back to let others in the city know of their discovery. However, scientists rubbished their claims and were least interested in the exploration, as they believed dinosaurs and the existence of saber-toothed tigers were almost 10 to 13 million years apart. Ridiculed, Dr. Russell created his own company by the name of Amazing Explorations Inc. to profit from his finds. However, due to the changing sands in the desert, Russell never found the cave ever again. Soon afterwards, Russell disappeared. His car was found months later, abandoned and damaged from the front in Death Valley. His suitcase was still in the car, but he himself was never found. Dr. Daniel Bovey had also disappeared without any trace. Maybe someone didn't want the two lurking about or exploring the dark secrets that might have existed in those caves. Number 4. Giant footprints in South Africa. We've mentioned giants from religious books and ancient stories. What about reality? What about proof and evidence? Hold on to your giant horses, because this one will shock you completely. 100 years ago, a hunter and the locals discovered giant footprints inside Implying, South Africa, that spanned over 1.2 meters. Back then, it was referred to as the footprint of God, as many were shocked at the discovery of abnormally large beings. If the footprint measured 1.2 meters, putting that into perspective, if the body was proportioned accordingly, it would stand at a mighty 24 to 27 feet. What's even more surprising is that the footprint was found in granite, one of the hardest rocks on Earth. There were no chisel marks around the footprint, which led the researchers to believe that the sheer size, weight, and strength of the creature put a mark in the stone. However, the story told these days mentions a large female giant running towards her lover when a volcano erupts, killing her along the way. Her footprints in the stone is a result of her prints left in the molten lava that cooled down. It is estimated that the print could be as old as 3 billion years. If that is true, then these creatures roamed the earth way before dinosaurs even existed. This is not the only case of giant footprints embedded in old rock. In San Jose, an even larger footprint of 2.5 meters was found, suggesting the giant to be taller than the one discovered in Implying. Upon further exploration, another footprint of 1.5 meters was discovered. Recently, in 2016 in Guizhou, China, a series of footprints were found, nearly 2 feet long, suggesting whoever left the prints could have been 13 feet tall. Number 3. Lovelock Cave, Nevada. The Lovelock Cave in Nevada is an interesting story, and one of the first ones that introduces cannibalistic giants. In 1911, James Hart and David Pugh got sole rights to digging and selling guano from a cave, which was used to create gunpowder at the time. As the two went deep into the Lovelock Cave, they came across a skeleton that was sized at 6 feet 6 inches with red hair. Didn't seem unusual at first. However, as the journey inside the cave continued, many skeletons were found, some even reaching sizes above 9 feet. Upon closer inspection, the duo found handprints the size of a giant embedded in the walls of the cave. So the story goes something like this. In the early 2600 BC to mid-1800s, the Lovelock Cave was home to many red-haired cannibalistic giants. In the same region resided the local Paiute Indians, who became the giants' main source of food. To protect themselves against the giants, the Paiute Indians decided to take a stand against the red-haired giants and went into war, forcing the giants to retreat and hide in the caves. Every now and then, the giants would get the opportunity to feast on a local, and they would take it. This continued until the Paiute Indians got tired of being hunted by the giants. Deciding to put an end to all of this misery, they marched to the cave and set the cave on fire, burning all the giants in it. These humanoids can be traced back to the 1800s. However, the cave was excavated from 1912 to 1924, whereby a lot of relics, around 20,000 artifacts, were found. Sandals made out of bark were also discovered that were sized 15 inches long. What's intriguing about this is that before the Lovelock Cave was discovered, the remains of an 11-foot-tall giant was found in 1904 in the nearby vicinity of the cave. The artifacts found in the cave were no doubt as real as it can get. The giants might have been fabricated by businessmen in the area to fascinate and attract tourists. The red hair is said to be the result of temperature and atmosphere affecting hair pigments. Whatever the case may be, no one can turn a blind eye to the giant human-like skeleton found nearby. Number 2. Zanzibar Giants. The Zanzibar Giants are said to be discovered during the time of Marco Polo and his travels. The explorer writes in his book the description of the island Zanzibar, which he landed upon. The island spans across 53 miles of area with a diameter of 24 miles. Marco explains in his writing how the people have a kind and native language. What becomes surprising is when he starts to discover the men he had come across. Describing them as large and fat, Marco states that the men were strong and hefty as giants. He went on to praise the strength these people possessed, matching them to 4 full-grown men. Marco goes into extreme detail and points out their features, such as curly hair, wide mouths, turned-up noses, and more. He continues to write how their lips were plumb and their eyes wide and bloodshot, making them look like the devil himself. Marco not only encountered men that resembled giants, but also women, who he described as having larger breasts, almost 4 times the average human at the time. If we think about it, it is not uncommon to find citizens of Central Africa, Congo, Zanzibar, and more touching heights of 7 and 8 feet. We believe that people during the year 1200 would definitely soar above the current averages of people born in Central African cities. Although the Zanzibar island mentioned in his book is not actually Zanzibar as of today, the encounters mentioned could possibly be true. Number 1. The First Man. Giants have been mentioned in religious books and scriptures dating back thousands of years. The book of Genesis mentions the story of the 12 spies, out of which 10 encounter a giant while scouting the land of Canaan. However, the events depicted by the 10 scouts were fabricated, shutting the entire Giants episode down. But what's surprising is that it's not just one religious book, but many. Hindus have their own version of the giants mentioned in their religious scriptures. The most prominent count of giants is mentioned in the Holy Quran, the religious book for the Muslims around the world. The Quran mentions the first humans to be Adam and Eve, standing at 27 meters tall. It does not mention the creation of giants, but we are led to believe that humans, over the years, have been shrinking in size. A great example of this can be seen in evolution, where reptile dinosaurs are massive. However, today, we are just left with lizards, geckos, and other reptiles. The Quran not only mentions the first humans to be tall, but also powerful. The people of Ad and Thamud were said to be huge and so powerful that they could pull out trees from the ground with just their hand. Since they were so strong, many of them refused to worship God. In order to teach those people a lesson, the Quran states that the people of Ad and Thamud were completely eradicated, setting an example for generations to come. Muslims all over the world believe in the events that had taken place in regards to the people of Ad and Thamud. However, scientists remain skeptical of giants' existence to this day. Hey, real quick, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Give this video a like and hit that subscribe button for more videos like these. Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below your view on human giants. Do you think that human giants existed and roamed the earth before disappearing just like the dinosaurs? We're interested in knowing what you think. Thank you for sticking with us to the end. If you would like to see more amazing videos just like this one, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video among your friends and family. Until next time, bye!